While we usually focus on marketing strategy and tactics for medical practices, this month I decided to pivot and cover another critical aspect of your practice success, which is the new patient conversion process. In non-marketing speak, that basically means the rate at which you and your team are turning new callers, website visitors, and walk-ins, basically all interested parties, into book appointments and new patients. Making sure your marketing is generating new patient leads is super important, but if you are not effectively converting those prospective patients into appointments when they come in, your marketing dollars are going to be wasted. Hi there, it's Huyên Chung here, and welcome to another episode of OMD TV and Podcast Show, the place to be to grow and scale your practice. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the 7 reasons why your front desk may be losing 39% of your new patients. Prospective patients can come from many channels: your website, phone line, emails, live chat on your website, or even walk-ins. The channel I want to focus on today is incoming calls, because this process is usually the most difficult to do correctly on a consistent basis. There are so many variables from call to call, who's answering the phone, who's calling, how busy is it that day, the questions they ask, the list goes on. And how your front desk handles each coming phone call can be the difference between thousands of dollars in revenue generated and money lost for your practice. Every mishandled phone call is costing you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. In fact, a recent study showed that 39% of US-based respondents would never use the offending company again following a bad customer service encounter. To have our own clients, we listened to hundreds of calls from practices from around the country to see how they could be improved. And we found the following 7 conversion indicators to be the key to maximizing the chances of converting every prospective new patient phone call into appointments. Now, number 1, you haven't developed or trained your team to use a script with every call. A designated script is the best way to ensure that your front desk team covers all the bases of every single caller, regardless of the many variables that may arise. It's simply not enough to remind them to always remember to bring up X, Y, Z. Your team wants to remember everything you ask them to do, but humans are not perfect. If you have kids, just think about how many times you have to ask them to do something simple, such as put their shoes away or hang up a piece of clothing if it's clean. To combat this element of human condition that we all struggle with, write a conversation script for the front desk team to follow. This way, all prospective patients will receive 100% of the information they need to make an informed decision about your practice. Now, moving on to number 2. Asking, how did you hear about us, isn't part of your script. I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up while having you restructure how your team handles your phone calls. This is more about improving your marketing processes than boosting conversions, but every fresh lead on the phone is an opportunity to enhance your marketing processes. Now, you might think this is unnecessary if leads are pouring in, but what if you are paying for a marketing channel that's bringing in minimal number of leads, while another is bringing all of them in, right? You want to funnel your marketing dollars into the more effective channel and stop using the other. And ask, how did you hear about us? From every caller, you and your marketing strategy will be more informed and more powerful for it. Now, number 3 is you don't know how to handle, how much it costs question. This is one of the most frequently asked questions that your front desk has to deal with over the phone. Not knowing how to handle this question will cost you thousands of dollars of revenue. This is how it works. Your patient perceived value by your clinic equals patient perceived benefit minus treatment cost. So when a patient asks, how much does it cost? Replying immediately over email by phone call will lose you the opportunity to build up the patient perceived benefit, and all they can see from the end is the treatment cost. Therefore, you will have the negative patient perceived value, meaning you will lose this prospective patient. How much does it cost? I got to deal with this question a lot throughout my career, from running our own agency and also from other clinics that we work with. Price is always a factor in the prospect's objections. You want to think about the prices you want to charge and how you can build value around the price point that you are asking for, because a transaction only occurs when value exceeds the price. In your pitch or prospect, you want to be building the value of your services or procedures, thereby addressing the price point objection before it's even raised. Once you do this, you will minimize the main objections that come up with pricing. Why? I'm pretty sure that you will still get these queries. However, they will come up much less frequently in your sales process. If you are selling high-value procedure or treatment, or even it's not, you need to have a proper training in dealing with inquiries. Remember, every single new inquiry that the patient coordinator is dealing with, depending on what is the value of your procedure or treatment, is a potential additional $10,000 revenue to your clinic. You need to have a proven process in place. There's a lot to cover if you want me to talk about every single step of the sales process for medical practice. That's why my team and I wrote a guide called the 7-Figure Samurai Sword Sales Guide for Clinics that show you everything you need to have in order to have a proper sales process in place and help you improve the new patient conversion rate. Now, number 4, would you like to book an appointment is missing from your script. It sounds a little bit obvious, right? But a lot of time, many receptionists get caught in other details of conversation and completely forget to ask if the caller wants to schedule an appointment. It's just another symptom of classic human error, right? The goal of perfecting how your front desk handles incoming calls is to minimize and eliminate any room for error. These questions should always be one of the last things a receptionist asks, so include that at the end of the script. Now, number 5, you're not tracking how many calls you get and how many callers become new patients. This is the end goal of every incoming lead, that they book in an appointment and become a new patient. Checking how many callers become new patients is a key to improving your new patient conversion rate. You can't improve what you can't quantify. Pay attention to things such as which team member has the best conversion rate, what are they doing that others don't, and was anyone left on hold and why and for how long? Did the receptionist say anything that inhibited the conversation? A call tracking service makes this easier than doing it by hand with checklists. If you don't have one already, these services are incredibly affordable and can be the difference between a call conversion program that closes more leads than ever and stagnation. I can't recommend call tracking enough. Now, number 6 is that your team fails to get on first name basis with the new only callers. When someone calls your practice, make sure your team asks for their name at the beginning of the call. Ideally, they will use each person's name twice in the conversation, if not more. People love hearing their own name. Aside from that, people would like to feel and be treated like individuals. You can harness that innate human quality by acknowledging that they aren't just a ma'am or sir, but instead a John, a Jessica, or Juicy. It may just make a small difference in the long run, but the point of maximizing your conversion process is stacking all of the chips that you have at your disposal, right? This is another chip to stack in your favor. Now, number 7 is that you haven't developed a process or script to pre-screen the prospects and build rapport with them. Your initial conversation with your prospect is all about identifying 4 critical NBAT elements. By knowing these elements well, you will know if they are good fit and ready for the consultation or not. Now, N stands for need. What are their needs? How important is it for them to have it right now? And why now? B stands for budget. Have they got savings for that yet? Would they need financial assistance? A stands for authority. Are they the person to make the decision, or do they need to discuss that with a spouse or partner? Now, T stands for timing. When do they want to have it done? Is it now, 6 months, or 1 year down the road? Have they seen other doctors before? And what do they think? Other information that can be collected, such as their current medication, health history, their BMI index, their breastfeeding status, for example. Do they have young children? Who will take care of them when the patient is having the surgery? Do they need help with transportation or childcare? Building rapport with prospects over the phone is one of the key ingredients in generating more consultation bookings for your practice. Go beyond the usual transactional and medical questions and try to get to know them as a person and get into their lives. You need to make sure that you put the spotlight on your prospect. They should be the center of the whole conversation. Active listening is an integral part of establishing rapport. Concentrate on what the caller is trying to communicate with you. Let the caller know that you are listening intently by responding with gentle or ah, or even as they speak. Allow the caller to finish what they're saying before you provide a summary of your comprehension of the issue. This will assure that the caller that you care about what they are saying and are interested in helping them out. Every time your phone rings, it could be a new patient with a family of 5 or 25 referrals waiting to be made, or it could be a loan opportunity. In the worst case scenario, it could even lead to a bad review of your practice. It's up to you and maybe your practice manager, if you have one, to ensure that your front desk team is prepared to make the most of every opportunity. These 7 habits will go a long way toward making that happen. So, the one move you can take right now after listening to this episode is to audit the new patient inquiry taking process, from taking a call to responding to inquiries over the phone or in person. Everything should be recorded for further analysis. We cover how to address all sorts of different objections and how to even qualify prospects before they come in and see you in your clinic in our comprehensive sales training guide for your team called the 7-Figure Summer Sales Guide for Clinics. We have both electronic and audio versions for you, so you can check it out and apply what you will learn to see your new patient conversion rate improved immediately after you start applying it. If you want us to help you improve your new patient conversion rate for your clinics using the above steps, we're glad to take you to the next step, which is to book a 15 minutes discovery call with us so we can learn more about you and to see if we can help you. Thank you very much for listening today, and I hope to talk to you soon in our discovery call. Bye for now.